please, we're not done. We've got the glasses on today. We're gonna be talking a little bit about science and I need to feel smart, and the glasses make me feel a little bit smarter than I actually am. We're just gonna get right into it. As you can tell by the title, we're gonna be talking about my morning habits. I'm gonna kind of take you through my morning routine and talk about why I do the things I do, and then all of the positive things that I've seen from these things and why I continue to do them. I'm the type of person that if you can explain something to me scientifically, then I'll believe it a lot more. If you can give me evidence as to why something works, then I'll believe it. I'm probably gonna separate this video into like chapters or something, but just to give you a little rundown of how this is gonna go. First, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the background of the habit, then I'm going to go into the habit, and with each habit I'm going to first talk about the science behind, and then I'm going to talk about my personal experience. Can we stay in focus, please? That would be great. Getting right on into it. Back in October, I was at a point in my career where I needed to learn a lot really fast. I was doing a lot of stuff and I was really getting into SEO. If you know anything about SEO, then you know it's a very big task to take on. I needed to learn pretty much anything that I could about SEO. At that point, the only thing I knew was that it stood for search engine optimization, and I didn't know anything besides that. So what I did is I went to one of the most trusted sources, in my opinion, Andrew Huberman of the Huberman Lab podcast. I chose one of his podcast episodes, something along the lines of how to improve your focus and concentration, or like scientific tools to improve your focus and concentration. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I'll put it up on the screen. I sat through that entire thing and I took notes. And then after I was done with that podcast, I reviewed those notes and I took the things out of those notes that I wanted to incorporate into my life. And here's the original list of things that I wanted to do. So on November 1st is whenever I started incorporating these habits. I posted a TikTok about it. This was before I was posting consistently on TikTok because I wanted to keep myself accountable, and I kind of went into everything a little bit there. Not too much into detail because the most I could do was like 3 minutes or something. Within those habits, I did incorporate all of those, or like, you know, a version or a variation of those. I kind of modified them as I continued to do them every day, and only a few of those have stuck, but that's basically how I got into like half of these habits. Now, those are not all of the specific ones that I'm going to talk about. I have some other ones and we're going to get into those. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to kind of take you through my morning routine. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is actually the one that I have not incorporated into my life for that long, but it's been about a week and I've been really consistent with it, and I think that I'm already seeing pretty good benefits from it. At least I'm giving credit of those benefits to this particular thing. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is sunlight early in the morning. By early, I mean 30 to 60 minutes right after waking. Now, the science behind this, obviously sunlight within itself is good for you and we all know that, but why 30 to 60 minutes? I actually took notes for this video. Don't look at them, they're ugly. This is chicken scratch, okay? I went back and re-listened to the podcast episodes because I wanted to make sure that the information I was giving you was correct. Also, the sirens are kind of far away, but if you hear them, please ignore them because I'm going to continue recording. Getting direct sunlight into your eyes 30 to 60 minutes after waking is really important because of the signals that it sends through your body, and it rises your cortisol level. Don't let the word cortisol scare you. I know that it gets a bad rep because it's a stress hormone, but you want your cortisol levels to be up in the morning. That's how you wake up. This one is actually the one I took the most notes on, mainly because it's very new to me, but also I thought it was really interesting. You have a set of neurons in your eyeball. These neurons are called intrinsically photosensitive melanopsin cells. Those neurons in your eyes send a signal to neurons that are in the roof of your mouth called suprachiasmatic nuclei. These ones at the roof of your mouth send a bunch of other signals throughout your body telling your body, hey, it's time to wake up, basically. It also sets a timer within your body of like, okay, we're awake now, we have this long until we go to sleep. It's kind of like, you know, the circadian rhythm thing or whatever. Those signals also trigger an increase in cortisol, which again, cortisol, you want that to be higher in the morning because that is how you wake up. To do this properly, you want to get direct sunlight into your eyeballs. You do not want to wear sunglasses. You do not want to do this through a window or a windshield. Direct sunlight is going to be the most effective. If there is some reason that you cannot get direct sunlight, then a window or a windshield is going to be like the next best thing. But ideally, you want direct sunlight. Not only does this help you wake up in the morning, but because it kind of sets that clock in your body, it helps you sleep better at night and it helps you rest better at night. So some days are sunnier than others. On really bright days, you want to get about 5 minutes of direct sunlight. On cloudy days, about 10 minutes. If it's really cloudy outside, like really overcast, you want to do like 20 to 30 minutes. Now, if you want to hear more about that, go to Andrew Huberman because I'm not going to go too much into all of that. But this one specifically, Andrew Huberman brings up in like every single one of his podcast episodes. He just talks about how great sunlight is for you. So that one I also did go into a lot more detail because I think that if you're going to take any of these, I would probably recommend that one. For me personally, to start doing this, I already journal in the morning, which I'll kind of go more into that in just a moment. I started journaling outside every day. It's a good way for me to kill two birds with one stone, get more done in less time. Also habit stacking, which by the way, if you need help with your habits, I would highly recommend the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I know that you've probably heard about it before, but I read it and it completely changed my life. He goes a lot into like the science of things and stuff too. I love that book. I really want to read it again. Hayden actually has my copy right now and she's in St. Louis. These do have a little bit of a glare. We're gonna put them on my head for right now. Sunlight. I really think that the whole circadian rhythm thing works. I am feeling a little bit more tired earlier in the night. That's a lot to say for me because I do not sleep well. I don't really get tired at night. My brain never stops going. It could just be this week. I don't want to say this for sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's helping me fall asleep at night. My energy is up throughout the day. There are a lot of other things that could do with that, which I will get into those too, but my energy is up throughout the day. Do not feel a crack, feel great throughout the day. I highly recommend this one, just trying it out. I'm definitely going to continue this for as long as I possibly can, and I will kind of update in a vlog or something in a couple of months and tell you like if I think that this has worked with all the things that Andrew Huberman said it's gonna work with. Moving on. Now I'm gonna go into journaling. Now journaling within itself is good for you. It's a way for you to kind of calm your brain down and get your thoughts down on paper. At least for me, that's how it works. My brain goes so fast all of the time. There's 1,000,001 thoughts going through it at all times, and sometimes journaling is a great way for me to kind of take those thoughts and like condense them and then put them down on paper and get them out of my head. Especially if you have anxiety, it's really good for that. Not only does it kind of slow down your thoughts, but it kind of makes your thoughts make sense. Whenever you write it down, you start to see how things intertwine or whatever. I highly recommend journaling in general. You can journal any time of the day, but I personally do it in the morning. I journal all the time. It doesn't matter. The benefits I've seen from journaling in the morning is it's a great way for me to kind of calm my brain down before the rest of the day hits me. And I also wake up with a lot of anxiety, which is not fun at all. It's a way for me to kind of calm down that anxiety. I personally journal about like what's going on in my life and like my feelings, trying to make sense of them, trying to learn about myself. That's why I personally do it. I have a separate journal that I write in sometimes for like manifestations and mindset and stuff, because I do believe that mindset is a huge thing in your life, and there's so much that I could say about mindset and stuff, you know, whatever. But anyway, journaling could be for talking about your day, talking about your thoughts, manifestation, gratitude. I always do it in the morning because it just kind of sets my day up for success. Next thing, movement. When I took notes for this, I wrote down Pilates because I personally do Pilates in the morning, but movement of any sort bright and early in the morning is really good for you. This does not have to be a full-on workout. It can be if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. I do Pilates, so I will be talking about the benefits of Pilates. If you look at my original list from November, I had wrote yoga. I tried yoga. I did yoga for a couple of days and I just couldn't get into yoga as much. I don't know why. It did help my energy level, which is the whole reason that I started it. Movement in the morning increases your internal body temperature, which is another thing that you want to do in the morning to wake you up and help you stay alert throughout the day, because whenever you sleep, your internal body temperature is really low, whatever. Your body is supposed to move. We sit at desks all day. We sit on our phones all day. I'm guilty of it too. Try to get my movement in as much as possible. I mean, like you guys know, I have my walking pad and stuff. I try to move as much as possible. Your body is supposed to move. You don't have to go lift 700 pounds in a deadlift. Your body, you need to move. Even just like cleaning or walking your dog or something. You should get movement early in the morning. This can be a 5 to 10 minute walk. This could be Pilates. This could be yoga. I feel like whenever you incorporate movement into your morning routine, you have it so that it won't get disrupted in the middle of the day. So I personally do Pilates. I only do at-home mat Pilates. I have not gotten the chance to try reformer Pilates. I would love to try reformer Pilates, but for me, Pilates, it definitely boosts my mood, helps with my mental health so much. It keeps my energy levels up throughout the day and it gives me a lot of energy in the morning. It's challenging, but not too challenging. It's low intensity, so I don't need to drink caffeine, which I will get into next. I've just found it so easy to be consistent with. Personally, for me and my fitness goals, I really love the way that Pilates has kind of shaped my body. I've been really consistent with Pilates since like March. I personally think that Pilates has shaped my body in a way that I wouldn't get otherwise. So yeah, movement in the morning, very important. The next thing I'm going to talk about is caffeine. Any kind of caffeine. I am talking about all types of caffeine. I am a caffeine addict. I rely on caffeine. I love caffeine. I love a coffee. I love a Celsius, as you guys know. You should not drink it right after you wake up. I did that for years. It was the first thing that I did every single day, and a lot of us are guilty of that, and I know that we are, but here's why you shouldn't be. You need to wait about 90 to 120 minutes after you wake up to drink any kind of caffeine, or an hour and a half to 2 hours after you wake up. You need to wait at least that long. One, it messes with your cortisol levels, and like I said, you want your cortisol levels to be high in the morning so that you wake up and feel alert. Two, and this was my biggest one, if you drink it too early in the morning, you will experience a midday crash. For years, I experienced a crash at around 1 to 2 o'clock every single day, and I never knew why, and I was so incredibly tired and I didn't know what was going on. I tried this. I thought this would be the hardest for me, and let me tell you, it kind of sucked. I was at a point in my life back in November where I needed caffeine in order to function right out of bed, but I did it. I waited an hour and a half and then I cracked open that Celsius so fast. But that first day that I did this, no midday crash. Oh my god. Again, I had experienced that midday crash for years, and now I know why. And now I'm at a point with it where I do not rely on caffeine to get me up in the morning anymore. I honestly, genuinely do not need caffeine. The only reason that I drink Celsius or coffee is because I really enjoy them. I really love coffee. I really love matcha, and I am obsessed with Celsius, as we know. We all know that I have a problem, but I feel so awake because of all the things that I do in my morning that I do not need caffeine, and my body doesn't rely on caffeine to actually get me out of bed anymore because I have been so consistent with waiting on it. If you are one of those people where you drink caffeine immediately after getting out of bed, it sucks for like the first 2 to 3 days. It really does. But then you just get used to it. And then with caffeine, you really shouldn't drink it after 4 p.m. Andrew Huberman has talked about, like, even if you drink caffeine late at night and you think that you are getting a good night's sleep, you're not. Caffeine really affects the architecture of your sleep. You should not be drinking it at night. And getting a good night's sleep is so important for so many aspects of your life. Whatever, if you want to learn more about sleep, go to the podcast. There's so much more that goes into caffeine. Honestly, there's so much scientific evidence behind everything. I could literally sit here for a whole hour and talk about all this stuff. I'm really trying to condense it down, but I'm already at like 30 minutes of recording, and that's crazy because I talk fast. Next thing I'm gonna get into, deliberate cold exposure. I know you don't want to hear about it. I know it sucks. I've been doing it for months and it still sucks, but it's good for you for so many reasons. Deliberate cold exposure, I'm sure that you've seen all over TikTok. People are doing all these cold plunges and stuff. There's so many things that go into deliberate cold exposure. There have been so many studies. Do we remember the 2 things that I said needed to rise in the morning? 1 was cortisol levels and 2 was internal body temperature. Deliberate cold exposure does both. Deliberately putting yourself into cold water increases the stress that you are putting on your body. Again, deliberate cold exposure sucks. It's supposed to, okay? You are putting your body under stress on purpose. It is supposed to suck, but that's why you do it. This one I could talk about all day. And it rises your internal body temperature, and I know that that probably doesn't make much sense, right? You're standing in cold water. How does it rise my body temperature? Well, if you think about it, you're rising your internal body temperature, right? So if your body feels that it is cold on the outside, then it's going to want to balance that out by warming up on the inside. Cold water exposure or cold shower, whatever you want to call it, also rises epinephrine and dopamine levels. So it is also really good for mental health. It's really good for stress. It's really good for a lot of things, honestly. And if I was really running late, if I woke up really late, deliberate cold exposure is the one thing that I would go to, and it's because of how many benefits that I have seen from it. I originally started this one because it does help improve your focus and concentration throughout the day. It helps you stay alert and awake. I have seen such improvement in my mental health, in my depression, in my anxiety. I've done a lot of work on myself, especially in the last year, but I will say that I really started seeing a lot of improvement with my mental health after I started incorporating deliberate cold exposure into my morning. It did really help with my focus and concentration. It still does. Here are the rules. Yes, there are rules for this. I just feel like I need to also say these. Obviously, you can do like an ice bath or like a cold plunge or something, but most people just have access to this in the shower and they're doing it themselves. That's how I do it. So how cold is cold? You want to be in cold enough water to where you feel like you're gonna jump out of the shower, but you're not going to. You want it to be uncomfortable. Don't stand there in warm water. That won't do anything for you. It sucks. It takes a while to get used to, but after a couple of months of doing it, even after a couple of days of doing it, you get a little bit more used to it. You don't want it warm enough to where it's comfortable, but you also don't want it cold enough to where it'll give you a heart attack. If you have never done this before, do not just go into freezing ass water, okay? It is possible to give yourself a heart attack that way. Be careful. Just don't do that. I cannot remember the exact temperatures. I'm sorry. If I can find them, I'll put them here. If you're new to this, I would say ease yourself into it. Depending on the day, sometimes I'll just go straight forward. I'll just turn my faucet like way down cold and I'll just say, suck it up. Or sometimes I'll kind of ease myself into it, but if I ease myself into it, I'll obviously stand in there longer. It just kind of depends. You want to stand in there for about 1 to 5 minutes. I usually say about 3 to 5 just because I feel like it's a little bit more effective if you put more time into it, but 1 1 to 5 minutes. Once that time's up, I usually turn the shower to really hot. But the most effective way to do this, if you really want to get into it, is to naturally let your body warm up. So like maybe you could do it at the end of your shower and then turn the shower off right away, and then like don't dry yourself off with a towel. That one was a long one too, just because I love deliberate cold exposure. I think that it is super important, and I think that everybody should try it at least every now and then. You don't even have to do it every day. You'll see benefits if you do it like 3 times a week. Next, no going on your phone. This one I still struggle with sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I know we've all heard it. Don't go on your phone, whatever. But genuinely, your phone in the morning is so bad for you. When you go on your phone in the morning and you go on social media and stuff, you're setting yourself up to be distracted for the rest of your day. You're also just gonna spike up your anxiety. I'm not even gonna go too much into this because we all know that it's bad for you in the morning. Wait at least an hour to go on any kind of social media. Again, I'm not always perfect with that. I try my hardest. If you really do need to go on your phone, it's not like that big of a deal, but just try to wait at least an hour. Last but not least, water. Keep a water bottle by your bed. First thing that you should reach for is your water bottle. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. Water. Your body is dehydrated when you wake up. Your body is lacking electrolytes. There's so many things that happen whenever you go to sleep. One of the biggest things that you can do for yourself is hydrate in the morning. It doesn't even have to be a set amount. If you really want to set an amount, 32 ounces. This is 40 ounces. Drink 32 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Put some lemon in it if it makes you happy. I don't care. Some people drink water with salt, and I think that that's like to help with the electrolytes or something. I'll have to double check and make sure that that's right. But put salt in your water, put lemon in your water. It doesn't matter. Just drink water. Hydrate your body. If you're also trying to get rid of your reliance on caffeine first thing in the morning, the water is going to help so much. Not only is water going to rehydrate your body, but it is going to help you wake up. 95% of these habits is all to help you wake up. I used to never drink water in the morning. I've been drinking at least a gallon of water a day, I would say consistently, for like almost a year now. And I was never like a dehydrated person, but once I started drinking it first thing in the morning, oh my God, did my life change. Drink your water. I need some right now because I've been talking a lot. Drink your water. Give love to your body. Your body needs it. Water is good for you. Even if you don't like the taste, put some like Crystal Light or Mio in there, okay? It may not be the best way to drink water, but it's better than nothing. Those are the 7 habits that I have tried to incorporate into my morning every single morning. I just want to put a disclaimer out there and say that I'm not perfect. My morning does not always go like this. You know, sometimes it just doesn't work. Today wasn't even perfect for me, okay? I didn't do deliberate cold exposure this morning. I really didn't feel like it. I did shower. I don't think I waited an hour to go on my phone. I think I waited like maybe 15 minutes, but I think I saw like an email and then I just got stuck on it. Like if I seemed a little bit aggressive, it's just because I'm talking to myself low-key. All of these are so good for you. You don't need to incorporate all of them. Just try one of them. You don't need to be extreme with them. They don't need to control your life. And there are 1,000,001 other morning habits that you can throw into your routine. Everybody's life is so different. These are the ones that have worked for me. I have found great benefits in all of these, great results from all of these, and it took me a while to kind of modify each one of these and figure out what works best when. Especially moving to Chicago, my life completely flipped upside down. These habits I was doing whenever I still lived in St. Louis, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to do them in Chicago. Now I feel like I've kind of gotten myself into a good routine with them. Not only do these things help you throughout the day, but they help you with your sleep, and sleep is so important for so many different things. Sleep is currently something that I am working on to improve my life. It's not going that great. I'm trying, okay? At least I'm trying something. I'm trying to do research or whatever. So I really wanted to make a video on this, one, because I know that a lot of people are getting into, you know, getting up at 5:30, which you don't have to get up at 5:30. Getting into the whole hustle culture, like get up and just start working and whatever. If you are one of those people, then that's great, because I'm like that too. I'm 100% part of hustle culture. I never stop working. It's actually really, really bad for me, and I need to slow down a little bit. No judgment here, I get it. These things are extremely important in my life. They have really changed my mindset, my mental health, the way that I function throughout the day, and now I'm at the point with them where if I am thrown off even a little bit, I feel it. I hope that these help. I've been recording for almost an hour, so this is gonna be a long video to edit, but again, I think that it's worth it. I hope that you found this entertaining. I hope that you found this educational. I appreciate you all so much for watching. Save this video if you want to come back to it. Take some notes if you want, whatever. All right, I'm gonna go now. I need to stop talking. My cheeks are starting to hurt from how much I've been talking. I'll see you guys later. Bye.